If you haven't heard me spend time condemning the horror show of that story, this story that broke in CNN about the Rape Academy was one of the most disturbing and disgusting stories that I've ever read in my entire life. My first reaction to it on Facebook was, essentially the case for bringing human sacrifice, ritualistic human sacrifice, back from Mayan civilization has been made. These men that were involved in this crime all deserve to become sacrifice victims to appease the feminine rage that is now boiling, particularly in reaction to this particular story. The fact is that I concede your point. The fact is I can see the point of anybody who is outraged. This was absolutely vile, disgusting to think that, on the web, people were literally trading images, trading, videos of them raping their wives and kids and, basically tips about how to drug, rape, and do these things. And then you even have the eye check tag, where they were basically going about, checking to make sure they were asleep on the damn videos in order to rape them. This is fucked up. The fact is that, these things were so incredibly fucked up that I didn't want everybody to think that, literally 62 million people were involved in it. So, I started to dispute the facts of the whole story because it's so fucking sick and gross. I think, why would I want to believe that 62 million of my fellow men were engaged in this kind of misconduct? This is fucking disgusting. It's vile, and the people who were involved in it should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Fuck them, and their little cozy palace, online palace, and everything. They need to be cracked down on. Anybody that knows anything that we can do about this one. In fact, honestly, as somebody that did visit motherless.com probably sometime last year, not this year, I don't think I'm going to be back because now I know that it hosts about 20,000 of these videos, and the fact is they have not taken them down. As well as, revenge porn and everything, and all of that shit is not okay with me. None of it's ever been okay with me. The fact that I may be, disputing that the fucking figures has nothing to do with the idea that I'm not, disgusted by the fucking story. The people that were involved in this are criminals, and more to the point, they're the kinds of criminals I wish the cops would spend more time prosecuting in the first place. I'm getting tired of my friends and family getting busted for shit being caught with a couple of ounces of pot or even cocaine. I think it's a lot of bullshit, and everything. And even the petty criminals that are doing things like stealing from Ross stores don't deserve to have that shit on their permanent record and everything. I'm fucking tired of it. I wish, I fucking hate broken windows policing and the fact that the cops spend, more time going after low-level crime than going after these types of miscreants and criminals. These are the real people that need to be cracked down on in our society. So if you think that I don't condemn it, you don't know me and the way that I feel about these things. I legitimately am disgusted, and, if you're going to tell me, no, you're not, fuck off and die. I am. You don't get to tell me what I really feel about these matters. The truth is that I just didn't want to believe it could be as high as 62 million, and so I started fact-checking it. And also, the fact is that I didn't want to think that, I didn't want women to think that there were that many rapists on the loose in our society. We've got enough problems with men being terrible as it stands, and feminism is all too eager to hate on men. So, the fact is that I wanted to debunk the stat to protect myself basically from this kind of bullshit. But am I okay with the fact that by my estimation about 70,000 of these people, a little bit over probably, were involved in this kind of vile misconduct? Not at all. Lock them up. The fucking sick fucks that they are. Not at all.